The information and discussions shared on The Love Show are from personal accounts and experiences. Listener discretion is advised. This episode contains explicit language and frank discussions of adult themes or sexual content that may not be suitable for all audiences. Any communications, considerations, or recommendations are not a substitute for medical, psychological, or licensed professional help in wellness or recovery. Please seek a qualified practitioner regarding specific needs or concerns. We thank you and hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to The Love Show, an exploration of love, romance, relationships, and sacred sexuality. This is your invitation to dive deeper into your innermost self and strengthen the bonds of love and intimacy. Jennifer Rose is an international psychic medium, transformational guide, channel, writer, and healer. With the help of fellow trailblazers, Jennifer's mission is to combine timeless wisdom and modern spiritual awareness to transform and evolve humanity, all while encompassing healthy transformative love, epic beauty, and divine connection. Now here is your host, Jennifer Rose.
Hello, good evening, happy Monday. This is The Love Show, and I'm Jennifer Rose, and we are on the Sacred Spiral Network. I am so excited for this evening's show as I have some very special guests joining me once again, and I'm so excited to be sharing their story with all of you of a miraculous recovery as well. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Here in California, we're enjoying some quite warm tropical-like weather, so I'm enjoying that. As you know, I'm a summer beach girl, so it's very exciting for me, and I just wanted to say hello to everybody who has joined us here so far. I see you're all on board already, so really good to see all of you lovely souls, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all for being here this evening. So many of you probably remember Maria and Drew coming on Embracing Infinity, both of them on different occasions. And I'm excited to be having the both of them coming on and joining me here together tonight, this evening, as we have made it all forward from where we were before. So a quick hello to Miss Evelyn and Miss Nancy Muratala, Mr. Brian Lar, good to see you. Kelly Anwashino, Jennifer McCormick, hello, my beautiful friends. So happy you're all here. Thank you for joining us. And also, thank you for helping to share it out and spread the word as well. We greatly appreciate that. Hello, Deanna, as well, too. Okay, you came at the right time, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and get started as we get going here. What happens when the love of your life faces a catastrophic medical crisis and you have to become the ultimate anchor? In tonight's episode of The Love Show, we are diving deep into the breathtaking love story of artists, authors, and visionaries Drew and Maria Brophy. In 2021, Drew survived a devastating battle with COVID-19 that included spending 70 days on a ventilator. While his soul traveled through a profound near-death experience, Maria became his fierce earthly protector, fighting for his life through relentless medical advocacy. Their 4.5-month hospitalization was only the beginning. Maria documented every step of their miraculous journey and the intense, beautiful road to recovery that followed in her moving memoir, COVID, A Love Story. Join us tonight as we explore how a soul-level bond can bridge the physical and spiritual worlds, what it takes to truly rebuild a life together after stepping back from the edge, and how ultimate trials can lead to the deepest healing, resistance, and unconditional love. Drew and Maria Brophy are artists, authors, speakers, and founders of the Brophy Art Gallery in San Clemente, California. Together, they host powerful community gatherings focused on ancient wisdom, healing, and near-death experiences. Following Drew's extraordinary survival and long road to recovery, they now share their remarkable story with the world, exploring consciousness, healing, and the life-changing lessons that emerged from life's greatest challenges. Their book, COVID, A Love Story, can be found on Amazon and on Maria's website. there's another little story of Drew's NDE over on their YouTube channel as well. All of this is in the Facebook event and on the YouTube event as well. They have an online store at drewbrophyart.com, and you can find Drew on Facebook at Drew Brophy Art, and on Instagram at Drew Brophy, and Maria at mariabrophy.com. You can purchase her book there. And Maria's Instagram is Maria Brophy as well. And again, all of that is in the description over on Facebook and YouTube as well. And you can find last year's interview that I did with Drew on his NDE on YouTube as well, on Medium Jennifer Rose and the Sacred Spiral Network YouTube channels. Hello to Ashley Page, who has joined us as well, and all of our beautiful friends. So without further ado, let me welcome my beautiful friends, Drew and Maria Brophy.
Hello. So good to see you. Thank you for that introduction.
Yeah.
You are so welcome. Thanks for joining us once again.
Yeah.
We promise we'll try not to make you cry this time.
I still talk about the ugly cry I did on last year's show. It was
You're too beautiful to do an ugly cry.
Thank you, dear. We were so moved by your story, Drew, and it's just we were all bawling. It was just how it is. I was the only one who really got to witness it. So yeah. Anyways, we've come full circle. It's been a whole year, and your book has come out, Maria, and a lot has happened since then as well. Yes. Beautiful story, and I'm so happy that you wrote this. And I know you this was a labor of love, and Drew, you painted the cover for that, of course, as well too. And I remember the story behind that as well too. So how about we start with a little recap of what happened back during COVID? There was a lot of miracles, and how you, Maria, had to fight for Drew and make decisions on his behalf too.
It started in November of 2021, and we both got really sick with COVID. I'll just give you the really short version.
Yeah.
Drew got sicker and sicker. He ended up in the hospital on Thanksgiving Day. They put him on a ventilator, and I was given the privilege of them moving him into a room with a window so I could stand in the bushes, look through the window, and say goodbye to my husband. That was when the battle really began for me. He was put in a coma, and they told me to start making plans, funeral plans. He was not going to make it. And it was a few months of me battling for alternative treatments, getting help from friends that worked inside the hospital, getting help from Spirit. We created this unbelievable miracle where Drew is the only COVID patient that was in such a critical state with a collapsed lung, multiple sepsis infections, complete paralysis, lost 100 pounds, so many things, and then lived to tell the tale.
And recovered and healed.
And the recovery was the second giant battle.
Yeah.
Because he came home. Well, you can talk about the condition you were in when you came home.
Yeah. So the coma, the drugs in the coma left me paralyzed, and I lost all my muscle mass. I had severe nerve damage, organ damage. We had, just my body was devastated. I was a super strong athlete, when I went in and I came back, I looked like I was 100 years old. I looked like I was a survivor from a concentration camp. And they basically said I probably wouldn't live more than a year. And we set out to fix everything, and we did.
You proved him wrong.
Yeah.
Don't you love doing that? That's a really good feeling.
That.
That's a really good feeling. And I know that because you've had an NDE, you went to the other side, and you experienced Spirit, Drew, while you were in your coma.
Yes.
And So you know what it's like to experience the everything everywhere, all is one kind of feeling that of going into pure consciousness like that too. And we come back with a knowing of reality that's different from a lot of other people who haven't had that experience. And
Yes.
and I think some people may just assume because you've kind of had this glimpse of enlightenment that it would be easy for you when you came back, but it's not always that way, especially when there's extreme physical recovery that needs to take place too.
Yeah. I will say that the experience is the thing that allowed me to survive. Um, the experience made me feel very powerful, even though I was in a destroyed, paralyzed body. Uh, I was desperately trying to fix things on the inside. Maria was desperately trying to help me from the outside. And we had a beautiful life together that I wasn't ready to give it up, and neither was Maria. So
Yeah.
when you've built a life worth living, it's really easy to fight for it.
Yeah.
And so I think the real lesson is, build a life worth living. And yeah, it's hard now that most of the healing's done. I still have some little things. Um, you're right. You're just given more powerful perception and awareness, almost like you can see the matrix, and
Hmm.
it's frustrating and it's beautiful and it's overwhelming. It's all of these things. I'm getting used to it, but I was telling you before the show, I kind of feel like an alien. I'm like, oh man, I'm like looking
Yeah,
at my hands. I'm like, oh, well, I'm in this thing, and it's just radical. Um,
it is.
yeah,
Well, you're in good company. Most of us spiritual people feel like aliens,
yeah, I do feel like
especially when we've gone through a lot of transformation and we're just we're not the same as everybody else anymore. So
Yeah,
you're
it's really
definitely in
hard to go to parties. It's hard to go to family gatherings because the conversations are just not what
stimulating.
I can align with.
they're not in depth. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
very
yes,
it's
yeah,
surface level.
yeah.
Yeah. So I understand that because, they just haven't been through what you two have been through. So they don't know how to meet you where you're at, spiritually and intellectually. No fault of theirs, but it does make it hard. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all growing at different rates, so we
Yeah.
need to be patient for everyone, compassionate for everyone, because they're literally having an experience for you,
Yeah.
and we're all in the process of remembering,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
in that process, even though there's suffering involved sometimes, it's a beautiful process, and
Yeah.
you realize just everything's a gift, and so in some ways, you could say I was given a second chance at this life with the knowing that such a gift, so it's that much better now. And so even though as horrible this thing was for both of us, neither one of us wish it didn't happen because it has given us
Yes.
so much. Um, it's just part of the whole story. It's just so amazing. We saw so many amazing things in people, um, in ourselves.
I
Uh,
saw more love than I had ever seen in my life from people wanting to
Yes.
help us. Huge numbers of
Yes.
people that
Yes.
came out of the woodwork, people we didn't even know, who heard what was happening and they wanted to help. That was
Yeah.
that opened my eyes to the fact that there's more love in the world than not.
mhm.
Exactly. It's not all what we see on the news and on TV all the time. It's like there's so much beauty right in front of us that we're just not always made aware of. And till we need to. And you two have done a remarkable thing, because I know you've experienced all these miracles, like, the prayer chain. You started the prayer chain, and Drew, you saw the prayers as those little lights when you were, visiting the other side too. And I mean, that's so beautiful. And I remember you were saying that you felt the prayers kind of pulling you back home. I mean, that's pretty miraculous. And then I think about the power of love between the two of you, the teamwork between the two of you, fighting for your love, fighting for your family. Okay, I'm gonna try not to cry. And then you've managed to understand that, and to discover the beauty, and to also create more beauty out of a very challenging experience that, where both of you endured a lot of suffering too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just on different sides. And the other thing it really shows is the power of the human mind and the human body, and on both of us. It allowed both of us to be tested. And so a lot of people don't know how powerful they are because they haven't been tested yet. So that's where the suffering has value in the test. And so, so many, doctors and nurses and, random people found their true power and true purpose within our suffering. Nurses and respiratory therapists that rose to the challenge, friends that rose to the challenge, strangers that ran, that. So in some ways, like I was saying earlier, everybody's having an experience for you. We're all taking turns finding joy, finding love, and experiencing suffering for each other. And so it was maybe just our turn, or maybe I was the one that could survive it and have that experience so other people can, experience their own test, and find their own power.
Yeah.
And I see it in Maria. I mean, she dug deep and found her inner warrior. And, she was battling a huge machine, which is the medical industry. And, they were ganging up on her. And
I
so,
was so outnumbered.
and so she didn't give up. I didn't give up. It took both of us, not to give up. So it's a lesson for everyone, and that's what the book is about. It's just all the beauty that came out of this.
Yeah.
Self-discovery. And
Well, and the other thing that I found quite profound was that when Drew came out of the coma and he was paralyzed and he couldn't speak, and he could only move one hand. That was it. Couldn't move anything else. And so he could only communicate by writing, and his writing was hard to read the first week or two because he could barely hold a pen.
I couldn't sit up.
And I would spend 12 hours a day with him in his hospital room from the times they let me in to the time they kicked me out at the end of the day. And very quickly, I was able to read his thoughts. Even before he would write something down, I could read his eyes. I knew what he was trying to say or what he was thinking. And I just remember one day realizing, oh my gosh, I can communicate with him even though he can't speak and he can barely write. And we just became so close in that hospital room. We had never spent that much time together. I mean, we worked together. We'd been married at the time we had been married, 23 years or something, 22 years. And we've traveled all over the world together, and we always loved being together, right? But I had never spent that kind of quality time with my husband where we were communicating with our eyes and our energy. And even though it was the scariest, most horrible time of my life, there were also moments where I felt so much love for him that I previously didn't know I had.
Yeah.
And there were times where I thought, and I never told you this, but there were times where when it was a couple weeks after you were coming out of your coma and you actually now had a little bit of a sense of humor and he could smile and like kind of laugh, not make a sound, but he could laugh. And there were a few days we were just kind of goofing off with each other. I don't know, I don't even remember what we were being silly about. And mind you, he's hooked up to all these machines and can't move.
I'm like this close from dying at
And
any
he's
moment.
so on the edge of death. But we had this connection that was, and I remember having this thought like, oh, when he comes home, I'm going to miss this part. I'm going to miss this thing that we have that I don't even know how to describe.
The telepathic connection.
The telepathic connection and
Yeah.
the deep, deep
Yes.
soul connection.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually fairly normal for deep soulmate, high level soulmate connections. I mean, anybody can learn telepathy, but when you're experiencing that kind of bond, that kind of love, and have gone through that kind of transformation, it's like it all gets opened up. Yeah. I would imagine you haven't lost it. You just haven't quite needed it as much.
We haven't lost it, but
Yeah.
we're busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get busy.
Yeah.
As soon as he got his body back, we got right back into life, got right back into our business.
I'm trying not to be busy.
He's trying not to be busy, but I'm doing all these work projects. And, but yeah, I feel very lucky. I feel very lucky.
Very blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very blessed.
yeah. One thing I also wanted to ask you about too is because I saw some posts on biohacking and that you went to a conference with that too. So I know part of your recovery has been this more what I would call the state of the art modalities that are available out there, which I am super interested in as well. Like I'm really interested in peptides and cryotherapy and all of this stuff too. How has that helped your recovery? And yeah.
Yeah, so all the alternative therapies that I've done is why I'm normal again. As soon as we got out of the hospital, Maria began trying to titrate all the pharmaceuticals down, which there was a lot.
He was on like a dozen pills a day.
And so they weren't making me feel better. And so we started to try to get off of that and find alternatives. And what would happen is we would discover something and then I would plateau and then get frustrated, then find something else. And usually it shows up in people. So, when I say we're all taking turns being angels for each other, it's really true. And if you're listening and you're, receptive to it, there's constantly angels being sent to you. And these angels would show up and it would be somebody with a piece of information or a suggestion, and we would take it. So, a couple really big ones. The number one was a physical therapist, Nicole, and she basically said, look, if you don't start moving right away, you will go backwards and you'll be unable and you'll probably die. So we got to get moving now. And so when I come over and I tell you to get up, you get up, And so she was really hard on me, and it was really hard learning to walk because I couldn't feel my feet, couldn't feel my hands. I was in severe pain, and so that was number one, moving. For all the people out there, don't just lay in bed. You got to get out of bed. But I had other problems. I couldn't breathe, so that was a problem. So I had a masseuse work on my under my ribs to try to release my diaphragm, which was paralyzed also, and we tried to wake it up. So just real common things, but you have to do them all, and it takes a while. But then another really big one was a chiropractor, a friend of mine that started. I've been laying in bed for 4.5 months, and I was so rigid, and so he started trying to break that down. He'd come by my house, and then between all of that, they got me to his office where they put me in a hyperbaric chamber and red light, and
Excellent.
that was just so amazing. For all the people listening, don't give up. There are things that you can do to get your body back, and those were really big. The hyperbaric chamber, I started healing a lot quicker, and I'd sit in there an hour a day, and that got me to the point to where I was moving better, getting stronger to the point that I could do more rigorous physical therapy. I was on the Stamets stack, which was
Psilocybin.
microdosing psilocybin, lion's mane, and niacin to try to wake my nerves up so I could feel my feet. I mean, I was tripping a lot, and it was real dangerous for me to fall. And it was working. All of these things. I did acupuncture. I did a cold plunge. Once I got strong enough, shocking my system in the cold plunge, which really helped me. Then, this was over, like I said, I'd find one of these things and then kind of plateaued on how I felt. I was grateful, like maybe this is as good as it's going to get. And then somebody else would show up. A really big one was a friend of mine that basically came over and injected me with testosterone because I couldn't gain weight. I couldn't eat enough food. My jaws were powerful enough to chew, and I could barely swallow because that was paralyzed for so long.
Yeah, and we tried to get a doctor to prescribe the testosterone, and they said no. So we just took it from this neighbor of ours.
He's like
that
he's like a muscle guy, and he was watching me walk up and down the street, and I was a stick.
with a walker.
And he's like, I can't stand this anymore. Like he came over with testosterone
And needles and
put it in my butt, and like,
Yeah.
and I'm just
That's a thing. The low testosterone is big. It's
yeah.
it's a
And
big
so
problem.
I gotta say, 3 days later, I felt so much better. I slept better, so many things. And so I was on that for maybe a year, but I don't need it anymore. But it allowed me to gain weight. So I started gaining
And
weight
muscle.
in muscle because I was so muscle, and my bones were leached out too. So my body, I was building a whole new body. And so that was a lifesaver. I felt better. And then later on, I started getting into the peptides, which was another friend that had solved his problems. And he goes, "Man, you could be a lot better." But there again, I thought I'd plateaued. I thought like this is as good as it's going to get. And he said, "No, I was injured and I did this." And then so I started that program, and sure enough, I got that much stronger. My body was I couldn't get enough nutrients and minerals to build a whole new body. Like you just can't eat that much food. And so you
Yeah.
have to supplement this stuff in.
Mm.
And each time I did something, it was miraculous. And, I had all kinds of uh, different things. I was getting injured a lot because I was building these new muscles, and I'd try to go surf and I'd like hurt myself. So I had the CuraWave machine.
Cura waves, yeah. But it's a
And
frequency
yeah,
generator, and
Ooh.
it helps with inflammation, injuries, all kinds of stuff.
yeah, so I would use that. And like even now I'm on a detox program with a company called Quicksilver Scientifics, trying just to get all this all the bad stuff out, even though it's been a long time. My body wasn't detoxing properly because it was so damaged. And so that's helped tremendously. And now I'm thinking about doing the coffee enemas to try to stimulate my liver that much more, clean it out. And so, like, all of these things, look, none of them are easy, folks. You have
Yeah.
to commit to at least 90 days of a program before you really get results. And so I'm not telling everybody that these are easy fixes, but you can fix things. I'm living proof of it.
Yeah,
Um,
and we're going to show some pictures to show everybody what we mean by that, where you were and where you are now too.
yeah,
And if it, just in case anybody's curious here, the testosterone thing, it's like there's wide levels of low testosterone to the point where literally the medical community just lowered the levels. And so there is a difference with like the what I would call like the integration doctors, the more forward-thinking doctors, the one who you get peptides from, who will say normal isn't optimal, right? So being that that's so widespread that it's lower among men and women, and then with everything you went through, it must have been lower than low for
yeah,
you too. So that I'd say that was a really good call. And people are wanting to know what peptides are. They're like codes or messengers. They're amino acid chains that act like codes or messengers. So it's like reteaching your body what it's supposed to do after all of that trauma too, as well. Did they try like high dose glutathione for the detox for it?
I'm on high doses of glutathione right now,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
high doses
Okay.
of vitamin C. So yeah, that was another one, the IV room.
Yeah.
So it
Hmm.
was really dangerous for me to get sick. So we were going to the IV room all the time, getting high doses of vitamin C and glutathione,
Hmm.
and
I bet I
yeah,
know
no,
where you went for that.
yeah,
I like that one because they're the ones who will give you the higher doses.
Yeah,
right,
yeah. We have
Yeah.
them raise the
and
vitamin C to 10 grams.
yeah,
Excellent.
and
Excellent.
all of this stuff is, it's a lot. It's cost money, but when you're committed and you want to feel good, it's worth it. So,
Yeah.
the last 4 years have been a commitment of building this body, being strong again. And part of me was just to be able to show that it can be done. And
Yeah.
I mean, nobody, like, especially the people that live around here that saw me go through it, it is like they can't even believe it. And like I walked down the beach carrying a 80-pound paddleboard over my head with one hand, just like nothing. And I looked like a 90-year-old man before that.
Yeah.
So I was super strong and felt like what it was to die, and then woke up as like a 90-year-old man, and then reversed aged back. It's like extraordinary. I never want to be weak again. I mean, I had no idea. I have so much compassion for people, especially older people that have lost their strength, maybe due to injury or sickness, like I did. Man, it is just like if you can't do the things that you want to do, or you can't physically even lift something or open a bottle. I couldn't even hold a coffee cup. I couldn't raise a coffee cup like this. It was too much weight.
Well, and prior to that, he was so strong that, I mean, he would carry two paddle. I remember you would put two paddle boards on top of our high van, and I'd always be like, "Can I help?" No, I got it. He could like lift a car. He was and he took it for granted, I guess. And you know how sometimes spirit will take things away from you
Yeah. I
and show you a little something.
talk about
Yeah.
humbling. Like,
Humbling.
Yes.
like,
Yes.
and
It,
that's so true. I mean, we've all been given everything. We've been given these amazing bodies. We've been given each other.
Yeah.
Um, and so it was like, okay, let me show you what it's like to have nothing. And man, it was rough. And so when people complain about, a small thing that they're dealing with, I'm just like, look, it can get a lot worse. And so be grateful,
Yeah.
be grateful for everything and everyone. Um,
Everything and everyone and
yeah,
everywhere. Yeah.
yeah,
It's interesting with life in this way because it seems like there are two lessons. One is to teach you how powerful you are, and the other one is to teach you humility. And they seem like opposites, but yet they go hand in hand, which is that's the infinity.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, I never
Yeah.
thought of that. You're
Mm.
right.
Yeah. I get it. How about we show some pictures? Does that sound good so everybody can see?
Sure.
Let's see everybody. Okay. All right. Kelly's got these all ready for us as well too. There we go. Okay. So this is your book, and you wrote this during and the recovery.
Yeah.
Yes. Took me 2.5 years to write that book.
2.5 years.
It
Wow.
was very painful to write.
And she
But
kept notes during
the whole time Drew was in the hospital, I kept two journals. One was medical notes, and then the other was Dear Drew. And every day I wrote what happened that day. And I started that journal the day they put him on the ventilator, and then I continued on. So it was really important to me when I wrote this book. This book is a 1 year period of time from November 2021 to November 2022. And it's a very accurate, down to every detail, but it's also told in a great story format so that it's an easy read. And I didn't know how people were going to respond to it. I know that that's a really triggering time for all of us for different reasons. But what people tell me over and over again is reading your book helped me heal.
Yeah. Imagine it helped you heal too, Maria.
I think so.
yeah,
I think
it was
so.
therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she had to relive it every day.
It was painful.
It was very painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so hard to write that I started grinding my teeth really bad at night. And one night I was grinding so bottom front teeth. That's how hard it was to write that and relive it every day. It was almost like reliving it was harder than living through it, because when you live through something that difficult, you're just sort of on autopilot and you don't have time to think about everything. You don't have time to process anything. You just have to take action. If you're going to save your loved one's life, you don't have time to cry. You don't have time to feel
You're
sorry for yourself.
survival mode.
Must save life, must save life. That's all,
Yeah.
I was super hyper focused on
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And the
And
cover
Drew,
is,
you painted the cover. Yes.
yeah, and it's just, it really captures this tug of war between life and death, and I really didn't have a choice. It seemed like I was going, and at some point there was like a tipping point of Maria and all the people that she had gathered praying that it was decided, no, we want him back. And I was long gone.
And we
And
got him back.
and it was like it's been decided, you have to go back. And it was like a tug of war. And
And I wouldn't let go.
yeah, and it wasn't easy. I mean, it was almost like I got a glimpse of what it was going to be. Like, I will survive. I was told I was going to survive, but it was going to be brutal. And I went back anyway. And
I'm glad you did.
yeah, it's
Really
all,
glad you did.
it's all good now. But there again, the God doesn't give you what you can't handle. So, you get tested, and man,
And this is Maria who's reaching into the light, who's pulling
yeah,
you back, and the light are like the prayers, and then this is the angel that you encountered. Do I have that
yeah,
correct? And you went and painted this afterwards?
yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
So
He didn't.
beautiful.
He didn't look like an angel. He looked like a giant ball of light.
Yeah.
But he had you said he had like a
Yeah,
light
there was like
saber
a
type thing.
light or a sword or lightning or something that he was
Yeah.
Yeah.
wielding
Like
around.
Archangel Angel Michael.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Ooh.
I saw a picture of Archangel Michael with that flaming sword
Afterwards.
Uh-huh.
afterwards, and I was just like,
Oh
that
my
must have been
goodness.
him.
Well, and what Drew didn't really know, of course he didn't know it while he was in the hospital, but every single day I prayed to what I called was my team on the other side. I prayed to Jesus to be in the room with Drew, and I would visualize Jesus holding Drew's hand as Drew was lying in the hospital bed. And I prayed to I would say, Jesus, please be there to heal Drew. Archangel Michael, please protect Drew from any harm that could befall him, intended or otherwise. And then I would pray to Archangel Metatron, please make sure all the machines are working. And I don't even know where I got some of this stuff from, but it just became what I did every day. And then I would pray to Archangel Raphael to help with the healing. And that was it. They were I called them my cast of characters that I sent in his hospital room every single day.
Yeah,
You called in the big guns. That was the right choice on that one for sure. And then the whole league of human angels that prayed, ones who you didn't even know that prayed on your behalf too. It's just it's so beautiful, and it's such a beautiful story, because I know in a world that is, going through so much conflict, we need these reminders to like restore our faith in humanity and to remember the power of love is the strongest force in the multiverse and beyond
yeah,
of what it can do.
and it's a
Yeah.
definite reminder that this is why you live your life in a certain way, with kindness, love, and compassion,
Yeah.
because you're I I had no idea that I'd lived my life in a certain way just because that's the way I lived, and it was those actions throughout my life that made a difference with people enough where they actually cared whether I lived or died.
Yeah.
And so I made enough positive impact in the world that an army prayed for me. And I felt like every good deed I'd ever done was coming, and it just didn't stop. It was like a flood. And that's why you're nice to people. That's why you try to give. It matters the way you think and your actions, folks. It just matters. You're not getting away with anything. You
Yeah.
know, you're you're not getting over on anybody. The only you're If you tell a lie, you're only lying to yourself. If you hurt somebody, you're only hurting yourself.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
just so heavy. Yeah.
It is. It is. Yeah. Okay, and we've got some other photos as well too. So I know we have a picture of where you were before, superstar surfer,
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
waves.
world
So
class artist.
I gotta say that, surfing these big waves definitely prepared me for the beating I took in the hospital. Because being on the
Yeah.
ventilator feels like drowning, and you can't get a breath, and your heart panics. And so you have to use your mind, just like on these big waves, to get rid of the fear and just say, "I'm okay. I'm okay.
Hmm.
I got this." And so the analogy is really great, just the big waves and the strong body, I could take the beating.
Yeah. Yeah. And your lungs had more capacity than probably the average person as well too, because of all the swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah. That helped a lot too. Okay, and then we've got, let's see, what do we have next? This is
Yep.
after. This is
That was
after,
after he lost
folks.
100 pounds. He was paralyzed. It took two grown men to hold him up so he could learn to stand.
Yeah.
Without being able to feel your legs, right? Because of the nerve damage.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so they're standing me up to try to, show me how to walk, but you can't. The other thing is when they would stand me up, the room would start spinning and I would get sick. And so, I'm on a ventilator there. So if you get sick, they call it aspiration. It gets in your lungs, then you get an infection. So it's just a vicious cycle. And every time they stood me up, my blood pressure would rise and my heart would go crazy. So, I mean, just an almost impossible situation.
And that actually could have been avoided. But I didn't know it then, but I know now they should have been sitting him up in the hospital bed the whole time. And they never, ever, ever did. And
Oh,
so
dear.
there are a lot of things that can be avoided.
Yeah, but we didn't know.
If people know
most
what they're
people don't
doing.
know.
Yeah.
Most people don't
Yeah.
know.
But
Yeah.
this was about 3 months, 3.5 months into it when they started getting me out of bed, trying to. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if there wasn't a couple hero nurses and respiratory therapists that were really pushing me. And so just to get to this point was pretty miraculous. But at this point, they were still saying I was going to live in a nursing home for the rest of my life on a ventilator.
They kept telling me, Mrs. Brophy, you need to choose the nursing home your husband is going to. And I'd say, my husband's not going to a nursing home. He's 50 old. He is not going to a nursing home.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah. Let's see what else you got there.
Okay.
What else?
And then I think we've got the artwork, if I have that correct.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is fascinating because this is an old painting that I had done,
2006 was when he painted this.
and it was kind of this creepy painting that I did that nobody liked, and I don't blame them, but it's just weird that, you got a candle representing time, this big
Yeah.
wave with these skeletons, and that's me, like a emaciated body on this road
Going
going
across.
in a cross going towards the sun with these skeletons trying to get me. And then this umbilical cord heart with Maria and Dylan in it. And
Ugh.
you're just like, what in the world did I know? Did I already know this was going to happen to me?
Yeah. It's like
Especially,
almost like a premonition painting.
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so, and this was in storage. We have a warehouse where there's a lot of art, and I was moving things around and I saw it again after, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is
Wow.
crazy.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it's big. It's like 8 feet long.
Wow. That is amazing. That's a keeper for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and then we have the other one, the Tube Traveler one too, which is the painting of your experience during your ND. Do we have it? Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I painted this just because, I felt like I was just blasting through the universe. Um, Happy to be out of the body. It was like so glorious. It was just like, oh, thank God, like I was released from prison.
Yeah.
And it was like being alive all over again, like being born all over again. I mean, it was just so extraordinary. And so I kind of depicted it here, and that was just that first moment of being released,
Yeah.
and it was great.
Yeah. That's
And
beautiful.
I'd like to invite your listeners, if anybody has a question for us, we'd love to hear it.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
I'd
And
like to
I also
invite
want to
that.
be, yes, yes, definitely. And I also want to be mindful of the time as well, because I do know you have another engagement. But we have an after picture too of you back on the water as well too. So we went from before surfing. And then here we go. Yeah. This is after.
Yeah, so Thank you. Yeah. So I'm surfing again. I'm strong again. This is a much smaller wave. I'm working my way back up to bigger waves. Um, Age has something to do with it. I'm 55 years old, so I don't know if I'm going to get back to the bigger waves. But I rode the biggest wave of my life probably at 47 or 48, so it wasn't that long ago. And I do want to ride big waves again, just so just so it wasn't taken from me. So if I decide not to do it anymore, I do it on my own terms.
Yeah.
And I have plenty of friends and safety gear that I can do that safely. And so I'm looking forward to that in the future. Of just one more, you know, thing that I can just show people, like, oh yeah, like they said I was gonna die. Like now I'm riding like 50-foot waves.
It helps to be stubborn.
Yeah. Yes,
Like,
it
oh
does.
yeah, you say
But
I'm not going to walk
Uh,
again? I'm going to be running
but
by this time next
I'll
year.
show you guys. Yeah.
but
All right.
I really want to do it for everyone though, just to show them that it can be done,
Yes.
including the doctors and the nurses and the ones who didn't believe.
Yeah. And change,
So
it will help to open up their minds as well too, so that they can think more broadly, more out of the box, and then give their patients more hope as well too. So,
yeah,
okay, beautiful. Thank you, Miss Kelly. These are amazing. I know and this is the two of you together afterwards.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Kelly. Beautiful. Love is strong.
love is strong.
Love is very, very strong.
Yeah, one thing
Yeah.
I'd love to just add really quick. I think
Yeah.
what Drew and I lesson we learned as a couple when he was in the hospital unable to do anything. He was just a body in the bed and he had nothing, right? Everything had been taken from him and he had nothing to offer, like he couldn't do anything. And yet he was still the love of my life and he was still a ball of love and light to the people around him. The nurses loved him so much they would fight over who would get him each day. That happened quite frequently at Mission Hospital. And I could, the lesson for me was we think that what makes us worthy of love is all the things that we do. For me, it's writing books and it's running an art gallery and the things I do for my friends and family. But it really is something else.
It's something
What
Yeah,
is that,
else.
Drew?
It's hard to put into
What is
words. Yeah.
it? Is
it's awareness.
It's
awareness.
awareness.
It's awareness. It's your true self looking back at you.
Ah, that's
You just,
beautiful.
you know, we all have it.
Okay.
You're born with everything you need. You just need to be aware. Try to be more
Yeah.
present.
Yes, yes. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Miss Kelly. I know we're up to time for you both too, and those are beautiful words. Is there any other final words that you'd like to share? Okay, what energy understandings did Maria and Drew with healings and experiences did the two of you individually or collectively have from this experience? So
Wow.
understandings of
That's a good question.
yes, it
We
is a
can
great
stretch it a
question.
couple more minutes because
Okay, all right,
this is
awesome.
really real.
Thank you.
So when I came back to my body, it was, like I said, totally destroyed, panicking. The body was panicking. Very difficult to be in it. But I'd had this amazing experience that you're not the body, you're the energy flowing through it. You're the light. And I would sit there in this destroyed body all night long, keeping it alive, saying, I'm the light. I am the light. I am the light. I am the light. Sometimes I'd do that all the way to the next morning and just reminding me who I really was. You all are so powerful, extremely powerful. Control your mind. Your mind, wherever your mind goes, your body will follow. Make sure you're not corrupting your mind with just the wrong stuff. Don't You know, you want to build a life worth living. You want to be nice to your body. You're not the body. You're this other thing. So be nice to the body. You're like inhabiting a machine or an animal. Be nice to it.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
beat it
Give it what
up,
it needs. Yeah. Give it what it needs.
and give it a break. It needs one.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
this, and people have different kinds of energy. So, stay away from the people that are stealing your energy or giving you bad energy, or providing you with fear. And, find the people that are supportive, loving, you know. It's something I had to learn, and out of desperation. And if there was a nurse or somebody, a doctor that was not believing, we would fire them. We'd say, we don't want to see that person again.
Yeah.
You know, even to this day, it seems like all the negative people in my life have just faded away. We're not a match anymore. And then I'm attracting, or there's just people showing up in my life that are extraordinary. You are doing this with the way you feel. You control that energy with the way you feel. And it's hard. You do
Yeah.
it with you can help with your mind, but you got to realize you're in a body that it does certain things. So if you can't control your emotional state, your body will release chemicals that'll put you in fight or flight. And then it's
Hmm.
over. Then you can't control the animal anymore. And so
Yeah.
I'm
It's
dealing
one of
with
the
this.
reasons why we need to take care of our physical health too, so that it can endure more and can support you more too as well too. Because if you're not treating your body physically with proper nutrition and activity, then it's not going to be able to handle near as much of a
Yeah,
load or stress as well too. And then yeah, you get that same cascade, but much easier and faster.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. How about you, Maria?
I saw the incredible power of what a collective of people have when they're all praying and visualizing for an outcome.
yeah,
I never in my life thought it was possible to raise somebody from the dead, basically, with prayer and visualization and a joint, strong desire. And now I know, and now I can actually see it in my mind. I can see the connections that we all have. And it's just so beautiful. It is amazing when we see that we have that power. When we combine it together with large numbers of people, we can make things that seem
Yes, we
impossible.
can. Yes, we can. Yep. Got that
Yeah.
exactly right. And that's what we all need to remember. We stick together, we work together
Yeah.
for a common good, and nothing can top that. Nothing can stop that. Absolutely. So, thank you for reminding us all of the power of love and discovering the beauty in the struggle, and also creating more beauty out of the struggle. Well
yeah.
done. Beautiful work, you two. So I'm
Thank you.
proud to know you and honored to have spent this time with you, and so, so grateful. So thank you. I know your schedule's quite busy, so I want to thank you for taking the time out to be with all of us here tonight as
Thank you for
well.
having us.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Love you
Yes.
all.
Love you.
We love you too. And thank you all, everybody, for joining us here, all of our friends and guests that are watching. And please have a beautiful evening. Sleep with the angels. And thank you to our lovely producer, Kelly Brickle, who takes such good care of us. And we'll say goodbye for now. Good night, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye.